Hawkswood was set up in response to the head teachers of the borough needing a provision to support pupils that had mental health issues. Most of our pupils, most of our cohort come through the Fair Access panel. They're from mainstream schools and they come here for 1 to 2 terms of respite work where we have a CAMHS therapist on site and a therapeutic lead who works with all of the pupils and tries to help them to either manage better or overcome the mental health issues that they have. The idea is that at the end of that period of time they will return to school. I'm Linda McCaffrey and I'm the head teacher of Hawkswood Therapeutic School. At the very beginning we had a very small staff team and we wanted to deliver as broad a curriculum as possible. So the best option seemed to be to look towards online learning, because in that way we could develop a nice broad curriculum. We could meet the needs of the whole cohort without having to have loads and loads of teachers on site. It was only a small provision. With Apricot we were able to negotiate with them, look at what the needs of our cohort were and then develop a curriculum around that that would work for both us and for Apricot. So we started together, and over a period of 8 years it's become something that's almost unrecognisable from its inception. It's become so incredibly responsive in terms of what our children need in terms of learning, but also because the Apricot staff are trained up in therapeutic support as well, they have a very good understanding of the issues our pupils may have, so they can manage them better in the classroom even though they're online. So there's a parity there between us in terms of what we do, Apricot does. And so it's become more of a collaboration and a partnership. It's not a business arrangement anymore, it's a collaboration partnership for us.
It's interesting here because we deal with children who have serious mental health concerns. And that could be everything from paranoid schizophrenia, depression, self-harm, borderline personality disorder, and they can't stay in a mainstream school. For a lot of them, especially with that high anxiety that a lot of these conditions can bring, being put into a classroom where there's a live teacher in front of you and the pace is very high, they can find that very difficult to deal with. So really one of the joys of Apricot is removing that initial barrier of how to engage with education, when up till that point they've been struggling. Because there's no eye contact, really high anxiety children can do very, very well with that. But also the pace of the lesson can be a lot slower. A big advantage for our children is the lessons are all recorded. The result is if someone joins us halfway through a year, they could say, well, I'm behind, but they've got all these lessons they can actually go back to, refresh themselves, and it gives them the chance to start taking ownership of their own learning outside of the school environment as well as within it. So really, it enables us to deal with children whose anxieties have prevented them going into a classroom, and it gives us an opportunity to get them in and start that process of engagement. And Apricot are very, very skilled at doing that.
But also for the pupils that are going back to school, we have to make sure that we have parity with mainstream schools and they're not missing out on their education. And that's where our work with Apricot comes in. But one of the initial things we do is they're seen by our CAMHS therapist, and we do initial baseline assessment and work out a therapeutic programme that they follow. And Jackie's responsibility is to oversee that programme and make sure that the children are getting the support they need.
It's an excellent way of learning with Apricot Online, because what happens is that the students actually log on online, and if they do feel a bit down or feel a little bit upset, it gives them a time to say to the teacher, I don't feel very well, come away from the screen or put themselves away, and then they can have like 5 minutes and then get back onto the lesson. The other thing is if they have any kind of appointments, they can actually go back online and listen to a recording. So it works really, really well with students that actually suffer from mental health.
One of the things I am very impressed with Apricot is the quality of the teaching. They employ quality teachers, quality individuals. They have a Doctor of Science there. Many of their teachers have been examiners on the AQA examining board, and they all have a fairly long history of mainstream experience, and so they bring that to the mix. So in that sense, I really feel that our pupils are getting the best of the best.